Tjena hörni, idag ska vi ta och kolla på när fotbollsspelare är fångade när de är fulla. Vi alla vet att Grealish kommer att vara här, men några av de här chockar er, för jag har sett en person som är med i den här videon som man kanske inte tror. Vi kollar. Och det är rätt. Klart att fotbollsspelare någon gång ska få dricka alkohol och sen kanske man blir full. Men titta här. Messi är med på listan. Jag måste höra mer. Jag sätter också på text. Det går tyvärr inte. Jag ber om ursäkt, det är engelska. Han sitter och pratar och förklarar. Ber om ursäkt att det inte går att ha någon text.
But guys, back in his early days at Barcelona, there was this moment.
Messi.
At the start of the 2008-2009 season, a new coach Guardiola arrived, and Barca pulled off the sensation, winning La Liga, Copa del Rey, and the Champions League. This led to some wild celebrations, which is why there are these funny scenes of Messi
det här trodde jag inte man skulle se. Men de är också människor.
Trying to take a Chupa Chups lollipop. And then he even gave a little speech. Yeah, the usually shy Messi turned into a real party animal thanks to the alcohol.
Messi känns inte som någon ölkille, va?
But this was quite
Messi är en ciderkille. Jag vet inte vad det är för cider och grejer där borta.
And the others, let's talk about another football.
Nummer 12. Eden Hazard.
Eden Hazard. He was brilliant at Chelsea.
Han är lite festprisig, det vet man ju. Eller? Känns som det. Han har den aura.
His career, however, started in Lille in France. At 17, he made his debut with the first team.
Okej, borta i Lille alltså. Ja.
What a goal. At just 17 years old. And at 18 years old, he scored this goal against Lyon.
Ja, man alltså 18 år och gjorde det här målet för Lille. Oj, första stolpen.
In the next few years, he became one of France's standout players and even won Ligue 1 with Lille in 2011.
Okej, det var då, eller?
Success. Hazard played a big role in the win.
11, hur gammal är han då, Hazard?
The next season, he wanted to take the next step, so he moved to England to join Chelsea.
Och så var det
the night before
I'm joining the champions.
his last game for Lille, he had a little farewell party with some teammates, and since Lille was already secure in third place, there were a few too many drinks. The next day, they played against Nancy. Hazard was a captain, but his former teammate Rio Mabuba revealed in 2016 that Eden was still drunk when he played.
Nej.
Sûr de ses qualités. OK? Il y a des périodes où le mec il nous disait franchement j'ai pas envie aujourd'hui, je vais juste m'amuser.
And yet he did this.
Nej, vadå, så han spelade typ bakis?
A goal. And how did it?
Jag har otroligt svårt att tro på det här, för det är fortfarande proffs och grejer, men det var ju säkrat där, matchen betyder inte så mycket. Det kan ju ha hänt absolut, men
team celebrate?
Svårt att tro på det.
They were drinking. A little hint to the previous night.
Okej.
And the game wasn't over yet. 3 goals in one half.
är väl inte de mest lata
first
fotbollsspelarna, va? Har det väl sagt.
Standing ovation in the last
för att han har sån naturbegåvning.
And Hazard got away with this,
han har varit
but
lite
our
lat.
next world star wasn't so lucky.
Är det Rooney?
He got literally knocked out. Those were the days at United with Ronaldo, Rio Ferdinand and Wayne Rooney.
Japp, Rooney vet jag. Lyssna på Wayne Kings dokumentären om Rooney, va?
To cope with it,
intressant som fan.
When I was younger, there was moments where you're drinking constantly. We've got 2 days off from the club.
Men det var också en annan, vad ska man säga?
This led to several moments when he got caught drunk, like he at 5 a.m. in the
gamla
club, or when he had the
generationen, när man
brilliant
gick ut
idea
till
to box with a friend at his home,
även
but
som
his friend was a
fotbollsspelare.
pro boxer. Rooney got knocked out, this story went public, and Rooney got a lot of backlash for it. At least he made fun of himself with this celebration. You know, in England you go to the pub and there's a lot of drunk singing, like Rooney here with Ed Sheeran.
Det där tror jag aldrig jag skulle se de där två.
Drunk driving, like Rooney did in 2017 towards the end of his career at Everton. The consequences, he was sentenced to 100 hours of community service. Now to a player we already made a whole video about, Ronaldinho. A fantastic player, but he didn't always have great relationship with alcohol. Here, he was filmed a few years ago in a club meeting Pogba.
Men han är ju... Men hallå, han är ju för fan pensionerad, låt han!
And it's clear he's not sober, but hey, I'd say let him have his fun.
Exakt.
During his time at Barcelona, however, he often showed up drunk for
Jag menar det,
training.
han drack ju fan när han
wasn't
spelade i
thrilled about
Barcelona.
it, so Rooney had to leave the club. Our next player is currently playing under
Har vi
Guardiola.
Grealish då?
Jack
Det är så rätt.
Grealish, and he really went for it when Man City won the treble last year. It started in the dressing room. Then when walking out of the dressing room. When he got off the plane, he could hardly walk. And during the celebration on the bus through Manchester, Walker had to hold him to stop him from falling off.
For the past 24 hours, I've had the best day and night, to be fair.
What a crazy guy. And that brings us to our next player, Kevin Grosskreutz. And the former Dortmund player gave us a few scandals, like on the night of the German Cup final in 2014. After 90 minutes, the score was 0-0, but then a beautiful goal from Robben.
Dagen alla hejade på
In
Dortmund.
the end, Bayern won, and Kevin was so frustrated by the situation that he got into a fight with a fan in the hotel lobby while drunk, and then relieved himself.
Han blev alltså så sur efter den här matchen och var full och bråkade med ett fan i hotellobbyn.
Sehr schweres Spiel und der Frust kam hoch und ja, und dann ist was passiert, was natürlich nicht passieren darf und das tut mir auch sehr leid. Ich entschuldige mich dafür, stehe dazu.
Erkänner och ber om
He
ursäkt.
was insanely talented.
Vem är det här då? Jag hörde inte.
Nicklas Bendtner.
Bendtner är såklart.
But he was also known for partying hard.
Jajamän.
He was full of self-confidence, called himself Lord Bendtner, and claimed to be the best striker in the world. And I mean, yeah, he often showed he had talent, but he often lacked discipline and found himself in some tricky situations, like here being escorted out of a club drunk. After spells at Sunderland, Wolfsburg and Juventus, he went to Copenhagen, and during this training, it seemed he had a few too many drinks, as he couldn't even hit the goal.
Nej.
Now guys, to a World Cup winner.
Oj, okej. Frankrike.
Hugo Lloris, who won the World Cup with France in 2018.
Lloris har varit jäkla massa skriverier om förut alltså. Han körde full och grejer.
He was also the captain at Tottenham Hotspurs, but just a few weeks after winning the World Cup, he was in the headlines again. He got pulled over by the police for driving drunk in his Porsche.
Yeah.
Allegedly, he couldn't drive straight and even threw up in his car.
Oj, han spydde till och med bilen och kunde inte köra rakt.
He said that he was guilty of the situation and is responsible. He's a man.
When you are in the action, you know,
Det känns inte som honom liksom, men man vet ju.
Your emotions, so that's something that made me a bit out of control.
And we're almost at Ronaldo's story, but first, let's talk about Darren Gibson, who did something really stupid while drunk. Darren Gibson was an Irish player who made a name for himself at Manchester United with some good performances.
Gibson, will he hit it this time? He does!
From there, he went to Everton.
Också lite den gamla skolan generationen, fast det är 2017 då.
In a preseason game against Celtic, they lost 0-5. The fans were angry, and so was Darren, who went to a pub after the game and had a few pints, and then talked drunk about his own teammates with the fans.
They don't give a fuck. Chris, it's just a corner. It doesn't seem bothered. Right, there's one. Next one. Wabi Kazri. Next one.
And just a few months later, he got into trouble again, driving drunk and crashing his car, and was hence kicked off the team. Our next player also got kicked off his team, but what he did was really not smart. Nainggolan played for AS Roma among other teams, and he scored some beautiful goals there. But he often made headlines for the wrong reasons, like when he went live on Instagram. And yeah, I mean, that can happen, but with him, it happened more than once.
Okay.
After stints at Milan and Cagliari, he went to Antwerp, and at first everything seemed fine.
Tillbaks i Belgien liksom. Han spelar inte fotboll längre, va?
Then he made headlines again, first for driving with an expired license, and then for smoking on the bench while already being suspended by the club. The consequence, he got kicked out of the team.
Ja, men vad fan?
There was also a lot of trouble for a Bayern Munich hero.
Plats nummer 3 nu då, okej.
Basti Schweinsteiger.
Schweinsteiger?
He's now a calm expert on TV.
Mein Bauchgefühl sagt, es wird Julian Nagelsmann.
But in his early days, things were a bit different. As an 18-year-old, he got into big trouble for being out at a club until 3 a.m. in the morning and hence had to pay a 15,000 euro fine. That was his monthly salary back then. So, you know, quite a hefty penalty. And just a few weeks later, he was in trouble again. It's 2 a.m. at Bayern's training center and the security guards are on alert. 2 intruders have broken into the area where the players hang out. And the intruders are now sitting in the jacuzzi. But as the guards take a closer look, they realize it's the 18-year-old Bastian Schweinsteiger with a woman in the jacuzzi. Basti apologized and said he was just showing his cousin the training area. Yeah, right, Basti. And Coach Hitzfeld found it so amusing that there was no fine for the young football star. Schweini behaved from then on, and things didn't go too badly for him.
Okej, plats nummer 2. Är det Ronaldo?
One more moment that got a footballer into big trouble. Hamza Choudhury is a player of Leicester City in England and stands out not just for his hair.
Oj, det här måste varit nyligen alltså.
But then on the night of January 19th, 2024, this happened.
Ett år sedan.
The police noticed this car driving on the wrong side of the road.
Och så sticker han!
Hamza was driving his wife's car while being tipsy. He got a 40-month driving ban and had to pay a fine of about £2,000, which, you know, is quite a joke, I find. I mean, the guy earns £12,000 a week. Luckily, no one was hurt, and hopefully he learned from this. And now
plats nummer 1.
We've all been waiting for Cristiano Ronaldo. I mean, he's not really known for alcohol escapades. Quite the opposite, actually.
Han är också på tung en gång i tiden.
He's still in top physical shape, eats healthy, sleeps a lot, trains a lot, and if he drinks something, it's water. I mean, this moment from Euro 2020 is unforgettable. Why he doesn't drink much? Because it's not good for his athletic performance and because his dad was an alcoholic. There are pictures where he looks drunk, but hey, they're just bad pictures of him. He wasn't drunk back then. But he himself said a few years ago that there was one moment where he was drunk. At Euro 2016, he and Portugal did the impossible.
Ja, han var det när de firade. Såklart, så ska det vara.
We all know the story. He had to be substituted out early in the final due to an injury.
Så kommer Eder göra det.
And then cheered his team on from the sidelines.
Champions of Europe 2016.
After the game, he was completely dehydrated, but he said this was the most important title he'd ever won. And so, to everyone's surprise, he had a glass of champagne in the dressing room. But since he wasn't used to alcohol and was dehydrated, that one glass hit him hard, as you can see in this interview.
What do you think? My friend.
Han är också han är glad också.
So what do we learn from this video, guys? Do it like
Messi-klippet skulle nästan vara först.
Responsible.
Messi-klippet är ju verkligen så här. Vad kom det ifrån egentligen liksom? Men bra, kul video. Intressant. Man ska självklart inte köra bilen man har druckit. Och sen ska man också komma ihåg att fotbollsspelare är ju människor. Ja, gud ja. Vi syns imorgon hörni med en till ny otrolig video.